Welcome, internets. We're getting political today. And I don't usually do that, so that's big news.
Welcome, Mr. Trump.
I like his daughter, Ivanka. Really attractive.
No comment.
Jennifer Lawrence, as you've probably heard, wrote a open-ended letter, or not open-ended, open op-ed letter in Lenny Dunham's Lenny letter. This is becoming alliteration here. A letter called "Why Do I Make Less Than My Co-Stars?" And
more specifically, why do I make less than my male co-stars?
Yes.
But I think it might be any co-star, but
Not in this
I'm just going with the title of the letter was called,
Yes.
but that is what it's about. If you haven't read it yet or haven't read anything in the news, because it's all over the place. And this brings up a very good point about gender equality in wages and salaries in the movie business, which is not just for actors, but across the board. And so I open that up to our equal 2 and 2 panel here today.
None of us get paid equally.
None of us are paid.
No,
Until you start watching more, subscribe, share with your friends, and then we can actually start getting paid. And we will be equal.
We need to get Blue Crate sponsored the show.
I actually have a connection with Blue Crate.
What is wrong with you? Why don't we have this?
We're starting up. We're a startup.
Alright, so, does anybody, maybe I should wait until somebody is in support of this before I come out in my negative way.
Just waiting for the man to speak first.
As a woman, that's what I'm supposed to do, okay?
The Bible says so. Well, I guess I can start. I guess. So I read this letter, and it brings up some really good. It points out some really good things, and I do think you can't deny that there is obviously
Some disparity.
Yeah, there is a big problem in Hollywood, in that women are not getting. I mean, it's a big problem in general, not just Hollywood. That women are not getting paid at the same level as men for exactly the same job, and that is a problem. That needs to change. I wholeheartedly think that. But and looking at this, I was trying to plan out my argument about, like, what am I going to say? Well, Jennifer Lawrence, she had 2 franchises at the time, and she had her Oscar at the time. But that being said, she still doesn't have as much experience as her co-stars. Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale and Amy Adams have all been in the industry.
Bradley Cooper, not that much longer.
Not that much longer, but I am getting to that. But they all have had a much longer track record. Bradley Cooper a little less so, but they've all had a longer track record than Jennifer Lawrence. And so I was like, well, maybe, yeah, kid, you have an Oscar. Yeah, you're in one mediocre franchise and you're in one juggernaut franchise. Okay, but
I'm trying to figure out which one you're considering. X-Men.
X-Men's the juggernaut.
Okay.
So it's the juggernaut, bitch. Oh god. So I was going into it with that kind of mentality, but then I saw the actual numbers from not Amy Pascal's email, but Sony's email, and it was the fact that even Amy Adams got 7%, whereas Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale both got 9%. And Amy Adams, I think, is more of the star of that movie than anyone else. I mean, I think she has more screen time than anyone else. She certainly has as much as Christian Bale.
I think Christian Bale and her are about equal.
Yeah.
Close enough to the point where there shouldn't be a disparity. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that was my shtick with the whole thing. Is I agree with the letter, but the fact that she's the face of it, there's not a problem with it. But the fact that she's in like 3 scenes in that movie compared to Bradley Cooper or Christian Bale. But the like you said, the Sony email, Amy Adams was also 7%, so that does raise questions.
Yeah. And that was really where I kind of hit the roadblock. I'm like, oh, yeah, this really is. This isn't about, like, who's the bigger star or who had more screen time. It was just from at face value, looking at the percentages, it's the women get 7. That's not correct.
Well, I think it comes down to what she also said in the letter, though, is that she's not a good negotiator. And the thing about women is that we have a more demure thing, and she does go in it in the letter, and I just feel like if you don't put yourself out there, like, the men probably go in there demanding what they want, and, like, if you have somebody who's demanding, you're more willing to negotiate. If you have somebody who's like, okay, 7, yeah, it's good. I mean, you know, like, I feel like if you demand for what you want, you're more likely to get it. I think that her representation too, and the people that she has, because it's not like it's just her going in there.
It's
She
agents
didn't
from
hire the
whole-
right
it's her whole
people
camp. Yeah.
to go to do it.
I mean, okay, so she's saying she's not that great of a negotiator, and she's worried about coming off as a spoiled brat, as, look, I can't remember the other word she used, but basically spoiled brat, and that, you know, she's going in and asking for something. Even if a woman is coming in and asking in the same tone, demanding, she's still seen as more negative light to how a man would come in. Like, she would have been seen as a spoiled brat, or whatever.
Then you get a
you know,
male
the man
person to
is.
represent you. I mean, really,
Why
if
should
that's
she
the
have to
thing.
have a male person representing her though? Like, you shouldn't, as a female, you should be able to come into negotiation, talk in the same tone of voice, the same everything as your male counterpart, but still be able to leave and be on equal ground with your male counterpart. You know, that you're not a spoiled brat, whereas even though you've said the same thing in the same exact tone, and that's the thing is that we are, females can be perceived as that negative connotation, even though they have done their job, have done exactly the same thing as their male counterpart.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's really what it comes down to. And, you know, and I'm reading that, it's like, yeah, she does kind of mention that she could have been a better negotiator, but I can totally see, like, I know a few people who are on that side, you know, who are agents or managers, and I could totally see someone going and saying, well, Jennifer is really going to need something like this, and someone going, oh, she thinks it's just because she has 2 franchises and an Oscar, she can just come in here and make demands. No, she's going to take what we give her. I can totally see it going that way, and that's the sad thing. And, you know, I have my own opinions on, you know, how good Jennifer Lawrence is as an actress, but I think she kind of earned the same much as, yeah, she may not be in the movie as much as Bradley Cooper, but let's be honest, she was probably a bigger star draw to that movie than I'd say anyone else. I mean, Christian Bale had been out of Batman for a while at that point, and I think Bradley Cooper had only really had success with maybe Silver Linings and Hangover.
I would say yes and no to what you just said. I think it was both of them together again, because the 2 of them, Silver Linings, was that awesome. Silver Linings
Was it
great.
really that awesome?
I love Silver Linings
It's
Playbook.
just kind of average.
I love David O. Russell movies.
I don't.
The thing I also can't get past though in this is squabbling about money when you're making millions. Like, as somebody, like, I do feel like there's a certain point where it's like, who cares about
Yeah.
an extra million when you're making 10 million or however much.
But
And
They
she
say that in
does
there.
say that. She does say that, like also to squabble about an extra couple million that she doesn't need. And she does say that in her words. I don't need this.
It is,
But it's the principle of the matter.
it is, but it's less of, in my opinion, it's less of an issue than the fact that they're getting paid millions and the piano set is probably a, you know, like, intern. You know, like, I feel like that is more of the thing in the industry that needs to be talked about.
Well, I also think producers should take a bigger cut in what they're making to be able to make VAs make more. I think that there's a huge, but that's totally different between male and female than what we're talking about.
Bernie Sanders should run the studios. We'll see change.
You know, and women can make a lot though too. Let's look at one of the most successful women of all time, like Cassandra Peterson. What she makes and how she's branded herself. Elvira is her name for those. No.
I thought you were going to go for
I met her at Comic-Con.
No, but I mean, if you look at her, she makes tons of money. She was able to negotiate. She got the rights to her character, and she has made a dynasty of that. And I think that she's, you know, one of the most known horror actor or actresses, you know, in the industry as a woman. You know, she's a woman. Just saying.
I think a big part is we just don't have enough female representation in even the above the line positions.
It was like big producers like Kathleen Kennedy and Amy Pascal.
Yeah, I mean we're talking
That's
less than of the 250 top grossing films. We're talking less than 10% of those above the line positions are women. There's not enough representation, and a lot of it is because women. There's girl on girl crime. There's a lot of it is that until we start supporting each other more as women and encouraging each other to do better and to do more and helping each other get these positions, we can blame men and we can say that it's, their fault or that whatever our negotiating skills are not, but I mean, there's a lot of, we're not helping ourselves.
Well, back to Jennifer Lawrence's piece. It's such an odd thing to talk about, not so much the subject matter, but just like an argument can be made in so many different ways without necessarily being negative about it. Like I don't think anybody would say that well, Jennifer Lawrence shouldn't have made as much as the male counterparts in that movie. I don't think anybody's saying that. But
I was
think,
arguing that she actually did have less scenes, so I actually wasn't making
Oh,
that.
no.
Well,
She does
you know.
have less scenes, and
I said Amy Adams should have though. I think what Jennifer Lawrence is doing is using her star power to make a statement for the people who don't have the clout that she does, for the below the line positions, for the PAs, for
But it wasn't about the below the line. I mean, it was clearly about the above the line, and maybe it's not the women need to get more. Maybe it's the men should get less, and
If you
maybe
could start the
below the line.
it's more about like balance. I mean, the men were making 9%, the women were making 7%. Why not everybody just meet in the middle for 8?
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, or you base it on how many days that person is working. I mean, granted,
That's what I was.
yeah, and granted, a lot of actors, especially someone like Jennifer Lawrence, who has a lot of star power, just her showing up is a certain fee, and then how long she's on the project is another fee altogether.
But that comes with the negotiation, though. And
Exactly.
I feel like part of that, again, I understand that in that microcosm, and maybe in a larger stance, that's how it is, but you have to learn how to negotiate your time
Mm-hmm.
and do your things. Like, I've known a lot of women that have made more than the men in their companies. They went in there and they said, okay, you don't want me to do this, I'll leave. And you have to have the fortitude to stand up there and to
Yeah.
negotiate as any person, because there's even a lot of men who get screwed over by not going in there and being strong. And I think that even if it's in a problem in the industry and we have to work to change it, on an individual level, you need to go in there strong. And if your agent and your people are not getting you the price that you should be getting,
Yeah.
that's sort of on you.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think Jennifer Lawrence is putting attention on the right issue. I don't think this particular film, this particular incident, is the best example. I think ultimately is what we're all coming to. It's like, yes, it's a problem. Yes, it needs to change. Yes, there needs to be more of a balance and an equal ground to be met between genders. This is not an example of that. This is an example of well, Jennifer Lawrence, like, yes, you probably should make as much as your male counterparts, but you were in the movie less. And
She has 2 scenes in the bedroom, one where she's cleaning the house to Live in My Life, which, fair
Yeah.
point, that was my favorite part of the movie. And then she stands outside real quick.
well, she has that scene with. Didn't she have that scene?
No, she does. She goes to the hotel, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
in more of the scenes than I thought.
Yeah. But that being said, I do think Amy Adams is really the one who should be complaining, because I think she carries. In her role, her and Christian Bale carry the movie way more than anyone else
It's
does.
their scheme.
Yeah. So I think it should have been like Amy Adams and Christian Bale at 9, Bradley Cooper at 8, and maybe Jennifer Lawrence at 8. I don't know.
Yeah, an argument can be made.
Yeah. But I do think the 2 people who carry the movie should be the ones getting paid more. But I mean, granted, Christopher Reeve carries Superman the movie, yet I think he's billed 2nd or 3rd.
You have Gene Hackman, who had been
Yeah, but Gene Hackman is not in as much of the movie as Christopher Reeve.
billing and
We're talking about Superman the movie.
yeah, billing and how much you're paid are different.
True.
But that all comes down to negotiation. Again, all
And
in
everyone agrees with my 2
negotiations.
male positions.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Should have. The movie Stepmom. That's a great movie. John Williams did the score.
Any other closing statements on the letter?
It's good that she's voicing her opinion. I think that it's really good that people get out there and make these arguments. I think that there are more, in my opinion, more important pay arguments to tackle, especially with below the line people. But, you know, it's good that she's voicing an opinion.
Well, at least it opens it up for dialogue somewhere.
That was
Yeah.
my thing, is using the cloud to start the conversation, which I think is important.
Do you think it'll actually, can, like, start a conversation in Hollywood, or do you think it's...
We're talking.
We are,
But-
but the people that have right now the power to change, we're gonna be there someday.
Oh no, it's gonna
but-
be the next generation. Like I feel like there's this whole wave of change that's gonna be happening as far as things changing to actually being more green and going more digital as far as the things that we use in the industry. And then the practices that we're gonna put in place, that's still one more generation away.
Mhm.
You know, this one's not gonna change how they're doing things. Because it's working for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see change, but it's going to be in the next generation. Not
Yeah.
later.
So, to our Friday recommendations. Going wide is Steve Jobs. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. Gem and the Holograms.
Because we all remember that.
Vin Diesel lives forever and fights off witches with Ygritte in The Last Witchhunter. Bill Murray's being Bill Murray with Rock the Casbah. Suffragette, CO is not off topic. I Smile Back, Sarah Silverman's doing a drama. Bradley Cooper is a cook in Burnt. And Nasty Baby and Difference. So there's a lot of movies. The last two I'm not familiar with. Yes, Kristen. So which of these should our audience go see?
Go see Paranormal Activity,
I'm
Ghost
so
Dimension.
surprised.
Well, I mean, especially if you can do it at Screen Best. It looks interesting. I liked, I think the last one they did was yeah, I liked that one a lot. It was my favorite of the franchise so far. It was. The guy with the shotgun just shooting the witches in the stomach, that was really, spoiler.
Sure was.
That was a moment. I don't know. I'm loyal to it. I think that every movie has at least one good scare that, for me, gives me ideas for the films I want to make.
And I can't argue with that. I'm not interested in the Paranormal Activity series anymore, but anything that has inspiration, I do appreciate.
I'm gonna say Gem. I think it's gonna be a fun movie. It's gonna be fun and cute.
Do you remember this? Who asked for this?
Well, it's not based on, like, the thing is, it has the name, but from what I understand,
It's
the
not
story
based on
has
fiction.
nothing to do
It
with
looked weird.
It's very different.
Okay.
I actually have a little bit of insider on that, but I think it's gonna be good, and it's gonna definitely be for this next generation. It's not gonna be like what we remember from the '80s. So
Fair
if
point.
you're very stuck on it from the '80s, you may not like it so much, but
And you're isolating your audience. This is weird. Why not just make it its own original story instead of using the prior?
I think it's just using the main characters, like, and a lot of there's elements they're pulling from it, but
Okay.
it's its own thing.
Okay.
It's sort of like I don't even know if anyone will remember Josie and the Pussycats.
I remember Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, I mean the movie has nothing to do with the cartoon.
And didn't it bomb?
Yes.
But
So
it's very
That's not boding
rewatchable.
well here.
it,
I
yeah,
think
it is.
it is.
So is Crossroads.
God, I almost forgot that existed.
I almost did too, and I was listening to How Did This Get Made, and they were talking about it, and that was like a back episode that I listened to, and I was like, oh my god.
Britney Spears was the thing back then.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, Britney Spears can survive 2009. I can survive today. I love that.
Just leave Britney alone.
So, Crossroads.
So I had already recommended Steve Jobs. So
you want to go with something else?
I would like to go with something else because I do recommend Steve Jobs. Paranormal Activity has always been a guilty pleasure of mine, but I fell off the wagon with the marked ones.
What didn't you like about it?
Everything. I did not.
Was it
It's-
the lack of pool
It's the
cleaner,
fact that
activity?
yes. It's really the fact that it's now starting to just feel like no one's really putting in any effort, and that's how it feels for me. I wish I could say Gem and the Holograms, which is outrageous, truly outrageous. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Fast and the Furious Hunter. Actually, no. I'm gonna go with Rock the Cash Pop. Because it looks like, I don't know if anyone remembers the movie. Oh God, it just
Pirate Radio?
no. It just left my head. With Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman. Does anyone remember? Oh God, what was that movie? They talk about it. I read Better Media. Ishtar.
Oh God.
It looks like a better remake of Ishtar, which I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go see this.
Okay. To me, the poster design especially reminds me of Pirate Radio or
Yeah,
Rock
yeah,
That
yeah.
Rock, depending on what country you're in. That movie was great.
Pirate
Did you
Radio
see
was
it?
fantastic,
Yeah.
really good, really underrated movie.
Alright. I'm going to go down here. I also recommend Steve Jobs, but just for sake of argument here, I'm going to dig down here. I'm going to go with Bert because I enjoy movies about cooks. I really want to see Bone in the Throat, which is written by Anthony Bourdain, which makes it all the more interesting. I enjoy Ratatouille, obviously that's animated, but even the movie No Reservations, it was just like nothing I would ever watch again before one watching. It was enjoyable. So yeah, I enjoy movies about cooks. I think
Chef is not on your list.
I haven't seen Chef. I want to see it. I really want to. It left theaters before I got a chance, but I've heard it's fantastic.
Kitchens
on
are very
Netflix.
dramatic places. My honey bunny works in Tender Greens.
Oh really?
He sets up all the restaurants across country, so we meet a lot of cooks. It's very dramatic back there.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff going on.
That's why I think the kitchen movies are. That's why I think they're so interesting. And so I'm gonna probably, if I get to see Steve Jobs next, I'll probably make a double feature out and see Bert, and then I'm gonna get a copy of Bone in the Throat because that was awesome.
Yeah. And then, of course, remember to see Lumberjack Man.
Lumberjack Man.
8 films to die for come out. Watch our previous episode.
Yeah.
Learn about Lumberjack Man.
Subscribe.
So no one's gonna recommend Last Witch Hunter Tokyo Drift?
There's so many great titles that can be made out of that.
I know, right? Fast and Furious Witch Hunter, The Fast Witch Hunter,
The Furious Witch
Yeah,
Hunter.
The Furious Witch
yeah.
Hunter.
Or is he fast and Ygritte is furious? I have no idea.
Well, didn't they take out?
And
Fast
Michael Caine is in this too.
Furious?
Yeah, it's not just Furious.
Yeah, they took out the Fast.
So-
There's no
so-
longer
No, it's Fast 6, Furious 7, and then I hope they go back to the last movie, 8 Fast, 8 Furious.
No, it's just gonna be and the 8.
Oh yeah.
Because we've lost all the fast and the, so it's just gonna be, the next Furious movie will be
Yeah.
and the 8.
Yeah, that'd
And
be.
you know what?
I think it's actually a decent title.
It's better than Alien Lost whatever you mentioned.
Alien Lost Paradise that I mentioned last episode. I still think that's it. That's.
I think you're trying to mash too many ideas together there. Lost Paradise or Alien
There's
Lost,
so many-
Paradise Lost.
I'm gonna get into it with you because Alien Lost Paradise. I mean, say what you want about Prometheus. I actually.
Wait, is there a colon? Alien, Lost Paradise.
Yes. Does that make a
Okay.
difference?
Yes,
Yes.
it does. It actually
Okay.
makes all the difference. I'm okay
Yeah,
with it
otherwise
now.
it's like Alien Lost Paradise.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't get it. I just
had
didn't-
Alien Lost Paradise. Where did it go? Come on, Xenomorph, get it together. You're out there being pointy-headed with a weird tooth
Yes.
out of your mouth. Get it together. You're not blue. You're black.
Actually, yes, everything you just said. The colon made all the difference. I'm all behind it now.
Now that you get a colon alien, now I know what you're all
It's
about.
a vital organ.
Yeah.
It is extremely vital. I'm all about the